And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Should be live. Alright. Gonna do some more Psydra. Teleportal, unannounced, Metroidvania, side-scrolling, puzzle platformer, stuff. Could do more dev. So I got a couple of tasks for this evening. We're gonna start with this little editor script because that's gonna be the quickest thing to do. So we're gonna go ahead into our editor, and our animation swap. Is that the right one? Seems wrong. Seems wrong to me, I'm not gonna lie. Let's go to our editor, see what animation swap is. It does add the component. I must have written this as an editor script to swap the animator and animation component and simply kind of changed it a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and check these files out of our source control. And we are ready. So here's the thing that we need to do with this. The idea behind this task is we have this script to now, if you're not aware, if you're not familiar with the way that Unity handles animation these days, is that it'll default when you go to add an animation in Unity, it'll default to adding an animator. So if I go up to here, I open my animation window, go to add an animation, and I say assets and animations, and I say I'm going to overwrite, don't use this bullshit. I'm going to add a second one, in fact. And then I do transform, position, I go to do this. You can see right here that Unity has so very helpfully added an animator component. And it created an animation controller. So this is basically for the simple thing that we need to do here, which is just move a moving platform from like one point to another point, and maybe if we're getting crazy we go back. This creates a state machine to handle that and go between different states and do different animations based on that state. It's super overkill for what we need to do. What we actually want is to have an animation component. And so what we did for that instead was, now when you hit Control 6, it brings up our animation window, and it also adds this animation component, which is the correct component that we actually want to add here. So the one thing that we actually need to do in this case is whenever we open our animation window and we already have an animation component on it, we're actually going to look through all of those animations, and we're going to make sure that they are all set to clamp by default. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I think I might need to make it a separate menu item, because there are some cases that we don't want it to clamp. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to set a separate function with a new menu item, which I'm pretty sure is possible. Okay, so we're going to say set animations to clamp, and that's going to be let's do something like this. I don't know what thing's going to make sense for this. We're going to clamp animations, and instead of editing, we're going to perform this other function which we're going to make a static void for. This is not the best naming that I've ever done, but it's how we go on the stream. So there's a static void for clamp animations, which handles everything that you have selected. We're going to go through each one of those and use the clamp animation script, which handles a single animation component, and goes through each of those. So temp obj. This is also going to take a game object. So instead of edit obj, we're going to say clamp animation. Okay. So, yo, what's up, Headclot? Good to have you back. It's a little impromptu kind of late stream we got going on here. So yeah, appreciate hanging out. I should be joined shortly by AJ, so we should have some 3D shit going on, some arts. So we'll see how that goes. Said he'd be right there, but that was like 20 minutes ago, probably. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll clamp some animations. Now I've never done this, so I'm not 100% sure of how to go about this, but we are going to make an animation. We're gonna make an animation variable, and we're just gonna call it temp anim. Equals temp obj dot get component animation. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to go through each and every one of the animations listed in this animation component, and we are going to set them all to clamp. I believe it's clamp forever is the way that it's listed there. Yes, I did hear about Unity 4.6. I saw it on Twitter this morning, and I'm so excited. Super excited. Well, I'm simultaneously excited and a little bit terrified, because here's the thing about Unity 4.6. I think that's AJ messaging me, so I will... Okay, I'm just going to call the whole teleportal group. Alright. One second as we get bros into Word. Actually, reminds
technical
me...
difficulties. Maybe I can hear you now.
Word? Can you hear me?
Or not.
You got nothing? Ooh, let me clamp this bottom.
Why can't I hear anything?
Alright, bottom. There we go, looks pretty good. So now we can do this. I had to switch the side of my screen that chat was on because it was dumb. And now AJ doesn't know how to use Skype.
Oh.
It's not really that hard. So anyway, while we're waiting for AJ to realize that everyone on stream can hear him, the thing about Unity 4.6 is that...
Yeah, no, you can hear me, but I can't hear you.
Okay, so anyway, the thing about Unity 4.6 is that we've put off the map feature and the mini-map feature until 4.6 comes out. So now that it's coming out this week, that means the second most miserable task that we have for this game is coming up, and so I'm dreading that just a little bit. But I mean, it does need to get done, and I'm super excited for Unity 4.6. I'm excited for Unity 5 whenever that does happen. But yeah, it does mean a really, really sad task for me. But we will deal. So we're gonna check each. See, here's the thing. I'm gonna double check what thing I'm supposed to be looking for here, because the animation is the component, but I actually need to access each of the animations within that component. So, oh, clips, that's what they are. Okay, so what is it? Animation clip. I think that's what it is. Okay, so I can say for each animation clip, temp clip, because we just don't give a fuck about naming conventions here. Everything's just a temp of something. So we're going to go for each clip in here. We are going to in temp anim dot clip is a single animation. We should have a bunch of clips in this thing. Let's see, where are animation clips? Get clip. Okay, so we're gonna have to actually, oh fuck. So get clip count, we can get the number of, that's really weird actually. Why can we not, can only access it by the name and not by the number? So if I want to get each clip, anim dot, I can get clip count. That doesn't do any good because I can't use that count for anything. Whoops. Let's see what the hell's going on here. Add clip. Just gonna look this up real quick because I feel like I'm just gonna sit around here. Usually access animations in animation component. Animation component. Okay, that seemed to fix it. So I guess I need to just call everyone again. Sure. Let's do that.
Word.
Yo.
There he is.
Here I am. What happened to your shit?
I don't think I've restarted my computer in about 4 months, so.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yep. So I was like, oh, well, that probably had something to do with it. So get this all up and going. Shit. So what are you up to?
I'm trying to access the animation clips from an animation component.
Whoa, are you streaming already?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Alright, let's see what, here's our animation component. Here we have animations. So why are you being a shit? So it's an array. Temp animations.
Oh wow, head clot's already in, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, on the ball.
You don't fuck around. He probably got the email before we even started streaming.
I know, right? He probably got the Skype message that you said, hey, I'm gonna stream.
Yeah. Hacking into our Skypes. Mode.
I guess I will model it.
Okay. So it appears that I can set the wrap mode for the animation in this component. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck I don't know what let's see.
Alright, let's
I
get
don't know what kind of Twitch account you got, but I never get emails that fast.
Alright.
There is like that pro Twitch account you can get. I don't know. It's not called pro. It's called like fucking Twitch Plus. I don't know. Something of that
Twitch,
nature.
awesome.
Yeah, it's tempting for me because you can change like the skin on Twitch.
What?
So you can make it look like you can kind of do the dark mode. Dark mode duck.
Dark mode is great.
Put you up here.
I am going to peruse some shit to make.
Is that what it's called? A pro account? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I do want to make Twitch. I do want to have that like that whole dark skinning of Twitch. It's pretty sweet, but. Oh, by the way, I currently on my desk at this very moment are two Nintendo DS XLs. One is downloading Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, and one is downloading Pokemon Omega Ruby.
You son of a bitch.
Just wanted to throw that out there.
Fuck! That means I have to get them too.
Yeah. Well, I'm playing Alpha Sapphire, and Heather's gonna play Omega Ruby, so that we can trade Pokemans and catch them all of the all ones.
Oh,
What's up, Beast Eaters? That's a sweet name.
that is a very sweet name.
Although I guess I don't know. Are you multiple people? You're like you're not just a Beast Eater. You're like all of the Beast Eaters.
Well, that's like what's that game? God's Eater.
Yeah, but it's Eater is still single. Singular. Singular.
Fact. You sprickins of fact. Okay, let's get this doing stuff.
Whoa, just fucked that up. Okay, access animations array. Yeah, that's actually exactly what I wanted. Let me see. So yeah, here we go. Animations. Weird. Animation has something called animations. A list of animations that can be accessed from scripts.
Awesome.
What happened to it? Because I just tried it and it's not there.
Damn it.
Animations. It's nothing. It's not a thing.
Not a thing at all.
Very upset about this.
Call it a bitch.
You're a beast that eats beasts.
Wow.
Cause sways YOLO. I couldn't agree more.
Absolutely. Sways YOLO right back at you.
Sways YOLO. Patrick Swayze YOLO.
Mm-hmm. Ah, damn it.
So, Unity's lying to me.
What's it saying?
It's saying that, here, I'm going to put this right on stream. Put it right the fuck up in here. Because Twitch is right here, lying right to my goddamn face. Because it has, here's the animation component. Here are the properties of that animation component, which are animation, animations, play automatically, animate physics, blah, blah, blah. So I should be able to access animations, which is a list of animations that can be accessed from scripts.
That's the definition.
It sure as shit is, but here is the problem, is that when I here I have my animation component, when I go temp anim dot animations, nothing. But now I'm super curious because I actually just realized that I am accessing them elsewhere through script from the moving plat. But that's on its own object. I wonder. Okay, animation clip names. Animation clip names. Get clip count. Wow,
I think
that's
you should call it a bitch.
fucked up. Animation clip names or animation state. Okay, so here's where I'm actually getting Bo the programmer. Yes, I recognize your name from Binry's channel. So thanks for following. Hopefully we don't let you down. Hopefully I don't let Binry down on his recommendation.
Dude, Binry was streaming like not long ago.
He was streaming all day. I was there for at least the first half. So
It's crazy, man.
Headclot, I'm not against that. I mean, if we could still use Unity but still put everything in C++, I would do it. Oh, Binry's here with us.
What? There's Binry.
We are in the presence of greatness, folks.
What up?
So here's Unity.
Hold on, we gotta do this Binry style then, and get like all up in the fucking.
Do I have to giggle a lot?
Gotta get like all up in the face.
Like way up there. I'm wearing too many items of clothing for Binry.
I'm working like this.
He has to crop it. He has to crop it like really, so that it doesn't show, so that it's not like all pecs, you know. Like
I know, right?
Or he's gotta wear.
Watch it. Watch it.
I have.
Giggle.
Please. That's what. Yeah. Start giggling.
It's true.
I have tried Unreal like this much. It is awesome. It has a lot of great things going for it. Because it's super new and because we were halfway into making this game when we started it, we are not using it for this game. But once that licensing thing kind of sorts itself out, we'll definitely consider it for our next game.
Yeah, licensing.
Yes. Well, I gotta work with what I got, So here's the fun thing for animation state. So where do I take anims? So animation state.
I don't think Binry's ever seen my wife.
For each animation state.
Hello.
There's my wife.
So cute. Okay, good to know.
What? No, that's not good enough.
I'm turning red.
Okay. I was referring to the licensing for Unreal 4. So, the licensing for Unreal 4, because it's so new, I've never seen many people. I don't know the long-term effects of it, so to speak. We haven't seen really our first game made with Unreal 4, and that got really big, and then some percentage of that person's profit had to go to Epic, and because Unity has a flat fee. You pay for Unity Pro, you're done, you're good, you can make as much money as you want, you have the full version. What happens with Unreal is that you pay a monthly fee, I believe it is, and then you can pay it once and then just download Unreal and then just go on your merry way.
Yeah, but the pay at once is like in the millions, I think.
No, I'm referring to the subscription.
Okay.
You can pay for a single month subscription of Unreal and then just stop paying. You can cancel your subscription and still you have Unreal 4 completely. But then to actually release your game, you have to and I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this is the way it works. You have to resubscribe so that you have like the full version. You have like a licensed version, so to speak, and you also have to give Epic something like 5% of your game, and so. And again, I haven't super looked into it, but I can only imagine that that's like pre-tax. That's not profit, that's kind of right. Before you recoup any expenses and before you get taxed and all that stuff. You don't have to resub. Okay, cool. Right, the subbing I think is for updates only, so you don't have to resub, but you do have to pay a percentage of what you make for your game. and you know.
I mean, that still sounds kind of fucking mean. Like,
Well, it depends.
like I mean, granted, you don't have to make that awesome engine, which it is a pretty dope engine.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It just seems. I would still rather just use Unity.
Alright, so this is a super dumb way to have to go through this. Apparently, you don't access an animation component's animations from just like animation.animations. You have to actually, they're all considered animation states, and each one of them has a clip. So I guess we'll see how that works. So what we gonna do is, I guess we'll just test this out. We're gonna, you know what, I'm not gonna fuck around in Sector 4 too much. That's a terrible idea. We're gonna go over to my favorite little testing area.
Testes!
Don't say it, I have no idea what I just did to that thing. Whoa, wall of text.
Holy wall of text!
Generally obligated to pay 5% of all gross revenue after the first 3,000 per game, per calendar, quarter, if your budget, regardless of what company flex for the revenue. Right. So it's 10% or 5% of sales. So that's like pre what anyone else gets, like what Steam gets or something like that. So
Well,
yeah.
Eggplot rocking the answers. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, it's good, very informative wall of text though, which I'm always in favor of, as evidenced by my blog post earlier today, which was nothing but a wall of text. I was considering putting pictures in there and stuff like that for like examples, but then I was just like, I feel like that would just clutter it a bit, and I like, especially for like I'm super mobile oriented, so I'm gonna be like, if someone's reading this on their phone, they don't have to downloading pictures on an article on your phone. So annoying because they like pop in and then you have to wait for them.
I mean, I gotta admit, it was kind of brutal to read the whole thing while I was at work.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna add our animation. Actually, just gonna throw an animation that already exists up here. We're not, maybe butt dicks. Maybe we'll put butt dicks in. Put butt dicks in, and then butthole dicks is another one. So, because we're really thorough, we're gonna make sure that we have two things. We're gonna add butt dicks and butthole dicks. Oh, son of a bitch! I did that again. One day I'm gonna learn, and I'm either going to not use my numpad, or change my keyboard shortcuts in XSplit to not use my numpad, so that when I start putting numbers into things, it doesn't just switch the thing. Okay, so buttdicks, butthole dicks. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is telescript. Yeah. So telescript, we have our new function up here for set animations to clamp. So we're actually going to have to look through these. See, the wrap mode is clamp forever. We're going to set it to default. But hold dicks is already at default. Finally, someone who does not use orbs. What is it? Oh, OBS. I read that as orbs because we use orbs a lot. Yeah, no, OBS is fine. Like, if you don't want to pay for software, OBS is fine. It's totally serviceable.
Shit.
But XSplit just has that, like, that little pro edge to it. Like, if I want to move AJ around, I can just do this, and it just live updates, and I can just kind of put him wherever I want.
Yep. Bet you do.
I said it. Okay, so now we have our thick platform that has the animations component. Thick platform is also kind of an old naming convention. We don't have quote unquote thin platforms anymore. Let's test this, make sure this works. So tell the script and set animations to clamp, which keeps these at default. Okay, so we're gonna go and see what may have happened to our script here. So our wrap mode is on the animation state, which I think is the problem. I think we actually need the clip wrap mode, so we're gonna try that. See what happens there. If this doesn't work, we're gonna have to resort to writing like debug prompts to see what's going on here. So here's our default butt dicks, our default butthole dicks, and we're gonna click on this and we're gonna try this again. And our wrap mode for both of these has just changed to clamp forever. So I'm gonna bring the Unity manual up just to refresh what happened here. So here's our animation component, and the Unity listing for this has an animation, which is the default animation. So if you just set it to play, if you just call play on this animation state, this is the default one that will play. You
I'll be right back,
also, though, all right, you also have these other animations. You have a list of other animations that can play on this object, and the way that Unity claims that you access these is one from animation, which is the default, and that's true, you can access that. The second one, though, that's called animations, is not how you access that. There is no such thing as animations, as we discovered here. So if I actually look into our temp_anim.animation, you can see we have animations, but no, we have animation, but not animations. So you can't access them that way. The way that you access them is through this animation, the animation state. So I guess temp_anim. I don't even know what it's called. You can't even, like, there's not a direct thing. You can also do get clip, but you have to know the name of that animation clip. And if you're just trying to iterate through all the animation clips regardless of what their name is, then you're kind of screwed. So it's not ideal, is what I'm saying. And theoretically, if you had animations that were in different folders but called the same thing, you could put two of those on a single animation component, and I don't know which one it would find. So it's really not the best way to go about doing that. You're best off just doing this loop. So you have to actually do a for each loop on each animation state in your animation component. So we learned something today. We learned it from this script that I wrote like a year and a half ago. Good times. Alright, so we're done with that. I'm going to bring this back up because I got to slide it over here. Now, we're done with that. So we are going to... let's do this exit delay. This will be fun. So, fun story with this. Whoops, that was crazy. Fun story with our exit delay feature. The original version of this game was supposed to have something like 20 levels in each sector, and there were 5 sectors. So it was a really like short puzzle platformer that was like rhythmically based. It was music based. And so we had about 20 levels, per Unity scene. And that was fine. We were fine with that. Once we changed directions and we made this more Metroidvania kind of open world type of thing, we had many, many more rooms, many more levels, and so things got a little hairy. I don't know how well you'll see it on my screen, but if we go to see our big game object here, we have this little feature here called Optimize. What Optimize does is it makes sure that there's only one room active at a time. So if you, it's much more effective in a for reals scene. So we're going to open this up, and we're not going to save, because all I did was add an animation component to something that doesn't need it. And it's going to take a little minute to load. Probably partly because these are all text. So let's say I'm going to put us into Sector 1. Here's the actual game start. I'm going to set this as our start point. And any minute now, it's going to go. So here we go. And I just realized that layout is shit. Yeah, I made one specifically for Twitch. You're welcome. Okay. So, we're going to do this again, for real. Ooh, Heather's finished before me. That's fucked up. Okay. So, now we're in game, and the thing about this now, here's our hierarchy, and I'm going to temporarily change my colors, because damn, that is crazy. There we go. That's good enough. So what you can see here, what should be kind of obvious, is that Sector 1 looks like the normal game object in my hierarchy right here. Every other level is kind of grayed out, except for these ones. I guess they don't have, they have room settings. I don't even want to get into why they're not working like they're supposed to. Most of these, the ones that are actually levels in the game, I don't know what the hell's going on with these. These are all grayed out because they're actually turned off. So that's what we do with this Optimize feature. So if I go into this hierarchy and I go back up to our big game object, put in our inspector here, you can see that we have this Optimize. So if I turn this off, turned off our Optimize feature, and now we go back into game, none of these things in our hierarchy have been turned off now. So every room right now is running and doing everything that it's supposed to be doing. So we have a lot of turrets that shoot off bullets, and a lot of them shoot off platforms. We have platforms that are animating every which way. This is happening in, over 100 rooms. So that's like crazy CPU intensive. So what we did for an optimization feature for computers that are not going to be able to handle that, and why should they have to? Because you're not in those rooms, you're not doing anything in those rooms, so there's no reason for them to be active all the time. So I made this Optimize feature in this big game object, and so now at any one time there's only a single room that's ever running. You're not like, every other room here, and actually you can see it even better in this scene. So if I go to Sector 1 in our hierarchy, you can see that everything else is gone except for these couple of levels over here, and I don't know why that is. Maybe they're delayed. But you can see now if I hit this and I stop playing, all those things are going to come back. So we go back to our scene, there's a whole bunch of levels here that we just turned off. So there's a delay though for each of these things, so we can go back to our scene here, go right back to the scene. All those levels are going to be gone except for this one right here. That looks like it must also have a delay. There it goes. So that had a delay of a couple seconds, and what that means is that when you start the game, if there's for instance a turret that shoots off platforms and they take like 5 seconds to get across the room, we want them to be ready for when the player enters that room so that there's already a platform waiting for them. So we set this room delay to 5 seconds, so that the room is active for 5 seconds. And then when we turn the room off, it freezes right there. Everything kind of like just stays in isolation. And so when you go to actually teleport into that room, it turns back on, and so then everything just kind of continues on as it was. So the fun thing with that is that we also need one now as an exit time. So we have one for the startup, but we also need one for instance, if you leave a room. If, let's say, you have a platform that once again takes 5 seconds to get across the room, it's right near the end of the room. If you leave that room, it freezes there, and you wait for like 10 seconds or so. You come back, and it continues where it left off, which kind of breaks the whole illusion of there are these other rooms that are constantly moving. So what we want is some kind of delay that will make that room continue on for a certain amount of time, and then will shut itself off when we need it to. So that's what we're going to add here, and that goes not in our sector settings, it goes in our room settings. We don't need sector settings at all. Oh yeah, wow, that's also going to have to change. If you've ever used a coroutine in Unity, you just be very careful with them. I've had to undo almost every single coroutine I've written in Unity because something goes wrong with it, where I have to add this feature that it's disconcerting, but we'll deal with it. Where I've had to add a feature that anytime you need it, you can't interrupt a coroutine. So anytime that I've gone to add a feature where like, let's say for instance this whole room shutting off thing, I have this as a coroutine. Yeah, because it's really bad. Like for instance, I had this as a coroutine. I have this currently as a coroutine, unfortunately, and I'm 100% sure I'm going to have to undo it at some point, because what this does is this says at the beginning of when you play this game, wait for whatever the delay was set for this room and then shut it off. Here's the problem. That coroutine can't be interrupted, and I can't say, oh hey, except if you go into that room, then don't shut it off. Like, you can't do that with a coroutine. A coroutine's going to do its thing, and that's that. And so the problem here is that if this room is set, let's say it's set to a 10-second delay, and it's the second room that you can get into. So when the player starts playing and they get into this room at, let's say, 8 seconds, 2 seconds after they enter that room's going to turn off. It's going to go away, and they're just going to fall into the infinite space below. And you can't stop it with a coroutine. So it just leaves you in a place where you can't use coroutines. I have to use the update function in these so that I'm constantly checking like for that interruption. And that's what I'm going to have to do here. So we are going to we're going to have a new float here. So we're going to make a float which is basically going to be our countdown timer, right? So let's see, inactive countdown. Yes. What is that? Ilute? I don't know. I think that's an I and then an L, but it kind of just looks like two I's. Yes, in this case, I can basically write a check at the end of this and just say if init level dot current room equals game object. Oh, I get it. So in this case, I can do this check and say, if you're not currently in this room, then don't then don't do this. It does mean that I'm still running through this entire coroutine, and just at the end of it, I'm just saying, oh hey, cancel that. Never mind that thing that I was doing. So yes, in this case, I do have a slightly easy way out. The reason that it's still not super ideal is that I can't, during this wait for seconds, I can't actually get the message that like it canceled. So if this is set to like 30 seconds and I go into that room and then, like, let's say I leave again or something like that, I won't know until 30 seconds later that this coroutine has canceled. So like that wait for seconds is just a black box, and you just can't do anything with your code once you're in that wait for seconds. So in this case, I do have a way out. There have been numerous other examples where that's not the case, and I've just had to cancel all of these things. So it's a super pain in the ass, and basically in any case that your coroutine can be interrupted, you're probably better off not using a coroutine. And I'm going to show you, cancel. I'm going to show you how to actually, I'm going to show you like my approach to getting around that. Cancel all the things. So far this game's you're not impressed by the game. I haven't really shown much of the game, but sorry.
Sorry, man.
I can but to show you, well, so if you want to see if you want to, I can show you a little bit of. Why don't we go through a little bit of the dying stuff.
Dying stuff is fun.
And I did just, I did just add that. I did just have that in my blog post about how you should just show the game off and do silly things once in a while. So, if you read the FAQ, it does say that this game has dynamic deaths, and it's not lying. This game really does have dynamic deaths. Headclot knows what's about to happen here. So for instance, what I can do here is that this is a portal, so the whole game is based around portals, and so if you are fully inside of this portal, it will teleport you to that portal's location. So if I go back here and do this, I'm going to just constantly teleport myself around. The tricky part about this is that we obviously don't make it super easy to get into these platforms as a whole person. How do you commoditize death? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I'm gonna kill this guy and show you how we use these dynamic deaths. So let's say you don't get fully into a portal, you only get halfway into it. The pieces of you that make it into that portal are the pieces that will get teleported. And so you basically break into a whole bunch of pieces. And so if I then enter here and show you in a little bit more of a interactive way, you're in there, the rest of you just kind of drops down. So how are you monetizing death? We're not monetizing death. I'm not sure where you got that from, but we're not monetizing it. Nothing in this game is monetized. This game is going to be released as like a flat fee, like $5 or $10 or something like that, and then you just buy the game and you're done. There's no monetization. How do you objectively evaluate portal space versus the linear path you could otherwise take? Well, in this case, like, I am representing portal space right now with this white space. And so that's how you distinguish it. It's going to have a very specific texture. You're going to be able to see what it is. How much alcohol did you drink while designing it? Alex actually designed it, so I'm sure he'd love to tell you about all of the alcohol that he drank while designing it. I'm sure it was tons. So that's the portal part of this. The other part of this is called unstable energy. That is the other way in which you are most likely to die. And the way that that works is that will just, any piece of you that touches unstable energy just instantly flies off and you just die. So, like so, we just kind of shred the character into all of these pieces. And there's so very many ways in which to do that. And so these are kind of, these are the hazards of the game. You will run into these a whole bunch, and they will kill you every which way. And so we basically make all these puzzles around, like, those are two of the main things that all of the puzzles in the game are built around. And that's how we do games.
That's how you game.
That's how we game, bro. Yeah, I think so. If the good luck. Yep. It's totally fine. Trolls do happen, but we're done. We're done now. I'm gonna show part of the game, and now we can actually do the things I was talking about doing. So we're going to go to level 1 and take that in our scene. So here's level 1. And so what we need to do is make an exit time for this level, or this room, so to speak. So what we'll do here is, instead of using the coroutine, we're actually going to count down. From coder sickness? I don't know what that means. Alright, so inactive countdown. That's going to be our new thing, and once inactive countdown reaches 0, we are going to we're going to shut off the room. So we can use the inactive countdown for both the initial time that you start the game and then the room shuts off, and for when you actually exit the game, or exit the room. So we do have this exit function, which is super handy. Yeah, no, that's all I did today was write code at work, and then that's all I am doing right
night?
now.
Yep.
Yeah.
All I did at work was animate, and all I'm doing tonight is modeling.
Yep. See, it's so different.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay. So, let's go ahead. Since this is going to be a recurring function, we're just going to put it right underneath our update. We're just going to call it countdown. And so what countdown's going to do is it's going to take our inactive countdown, and it's going to subtract our time.delta time. And if inactive countdown is less than or equal to 0, we are going to shut the room off. We'll say also, just to double check, init level.current room does not equal game object. So that's just going to check and make sure that this is not the room you're currently in. Even if we're doing a countdown, we don't want to show off the room if that's the one that the player is currently in. You code an entire network today on a live stream. That sounds like fun.
Wow, yeah.
I'll have to tune in next time. Was that like? Are you talking about on Twitch? That was a live stream. Okay. Okay. So once this countdown reaches 0, we're gonna immediately. We'll say. What is game object set active false? So we're going to turn the room off. You're banned from about 10 other game dev streams. I don't know. So then what is one more? Really, it's what we all have to ask ourselves. I think we'll just do this then. If you really want.
Come on. What the hell?
So yeah, there we go. There we go. We're done with that. I did it humanely. I didn't actually show it on stream.
Oh, yeah?
I turned off the chat thing for that moment. It's our first ban, so I don't want to take it lightly. Okay, so now that we have our inactive countdown, our start is actually well. First of all, we're gonna say level dot current room does not equal game object. Then we're going to count down. So we're kind of double checking the whole current room thing, which is not, little overkill, but it's totally worth doing. That sounds awesome, World 8. I wish I could have been there for it, because that sounds like something I would love to watch. If it's saved on Twitch, I'll totally watch that. Let's see. Thanks, Headclot. Appreciate that. Yeah, well, so Unity's networking is going to change a lot. So I don't know. I'd kind of wait for Unity 5, because it seems like they're getting a lot better with it. But who knows? I mean, if you can write your own, that's probably just going to be a better way to go, period. So, sure. Let's see. Okay, so here is the fun thing. Actually,
Come on.
so we're going to interrupt this. We're not going to do a countdown. Let's see how this goes. So the start, what we're going to have to do is set our inactive countdown to, what is it? Inactive delay. Inactive delay. So we're actually not even going to start the code routine. And see, this is another thing where I have to then say, I have to check immediately if the current room is this room right now, and don't start the code routine if that's the case. It's kind of a pain in the ass, so we're just gonna go ahead with this. this here. And actually, that's a good point. I may not need to do this. Where is it? Oh, settings. So we're always going to check for our init level settings optimized, because you can actually uncheck the optimize and not have any of this actually happen. This is kind of just an optimization for, not having to deal with all of the 100 plus rooms that are in the sector that you're not currently actually in. So let's see. Are you happy with the latest round of funding for Unity? Yeah, it wasn't super clear, the whole looking for a buyer thing. They were there was an article that came out that's or several. They were like, hey, Unity's gonna be bought by fucking Google or Facebook or somebody. And then, a couple days later, Unity was like, we're not selling us. That's not happening. So it was a little unclear. I think that keeping Unity independent, I think that Unity, that company has values and stuff that they don't want to sell. It doesn't seem like. It seems like they would only do that if for some reason they could not continue on as they are, which would be really unfortunate. So, but I also don't think that they would sell to someone who would significantly change the way that they do things. So I don't see that as a really big danger. I think that Unity's gonna continue to be Unity for a while yet. Learn to code to get a basic understanding. Open source 2D tile-based game engine? Are you, Worldly Team, are you suggesting that for someone's first game? Because that sounds... okay. Modify an existing game? Modifying an existing game is going to give you some idea, but if you don't even have the fundamentals down, it could also just be more confusing that way. You're best off getting some kind of book for a programming language. It depends what you want to do. There are different levels of programming. Kind of like the higher ends, the higher level languages, like scripting languages like Lua or Python or something like that, and to the lower level stuff like C++. So it kind of depends where you're looking to go with it. So let's see if this thing even really functions. We are going to debug log this shit and say turning off room, and we're going to list the room. Probably going to get a shit ton debug logs immediately. It's going to be a great time. And did it not register my click? Yeah, it didn't. Okay. Takes a second. Yep, there we go. Turning off from 50. And there we go. Here are the delayed ones. So 77, so 27, 2, and 77 are all had these little delays. So it seems to be working. So the way that we're gonna test this out though is we are going to actually exit this level, and we're gonna set a separate delay for the exit delay. And so let's see. Looks like level pedal. What? That's crazy talk. I don't know, man. This is old code. I need to fix that. That's just dumb. Am I using that anywhere? Doesn't look like it. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna remove it. If it gives me shit, I'm gonna delete every line that gives me shit about it. I'm just gonna go on a rampage, just deleting lines of code that disagree with me.
Oh, you don't want to do that? Fuck you.
See, you got a problem? Well, then you're out of here. Go find some other game to annoy C# master race. Well, C++ is pretty great, but C# is good for Unity stuff, for scripting, for what it is in Unity. Definitely would slightly prefer to work in Unity, or to work in C++, which is why Unreal is kind of tempting. We'll see what happens with all like the licensing. Once more games come out that have that Unreal licensing, we'll see what happens. If people get upset about it and people get really fucked over. Spend 12 on Eclipse. On Eclipse, oh god. I'm so sorry. Were you writing in Java? Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I started, like 20 years ago on BASIC, like GW Basic, Q Basic, all that kind of stuff. And kind of just worked my way up from those like higher level languages to basically just stepped down to lower level languages. And I started at C++. I'm not getting into like assembly and that kind of shit, and I haven't done too much with C, but Basic was a good one.
Dark Basic,
man. That's Dark Basic got us
jobs.
Yeah, got us where we are today. Alright, so we're going to take another float. So after inactive delay, we're going to add another public float for the exit delay. I don't know why I just put function parentheses after that. I'm drunk. That's the problem. Okay. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say assembly is pointless, but it's definitely not something I feel like fucking with. Like if you're writing an engine, you may want to go for it, but let's see. So, exit is a relatively new function that I added to all of these objects. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take our inactive countdown and we're going to set it to our exit delay. And so when exit is called, the current game object is no longer the current room, and so using this exit delay will then start the countdown and everything will be grand. Chat is going too fast for me now. Yes, writing games in assembly would take a crazy amount of time. I don't think anyone just like straight up writes a game from scratch in assembly. That doesn't happen. I think assembly in a lot of cases is more like you take the assembly from something that you compiled and edit it from there and that kind of stuff. I don't think you really want to just straight up start writing in it. That would be a nightmare. Mono game. It's weird that sounds familiar, but I don't know exactly what it is. Oh, right. So we are going to just in case here. Oh, right. I have the turning off room. So countdown. So let's go ahead and play this. Now I need to look up mono game because it sounds familiar, and I'm sure I should know what it is. Bastion was made with mono game. It's all C# stuff. By leveraging C# and other .NET languages on Microsoft and Mono platforms. That's cool. Oh, I totally went into a different room because I didn't save last time when I And I set my start point. We're going to set my start point to start locations, game start. And then, oh, and also we kind of need to set the exit delay. So exit delay, I'm going to go with 5 to make sure that I have time to do it. What's up, Zombat96? We're working on a game. You ever heard of those? It's in Unity. You know, that engine that every game in the world is made with now. Ooh, that's bad. Don't like those. It's harder to see, I think, in Twitch, but alright, so here is kind of our moment of truth. We're gonna exit this level and see and I kind of knew this was gonna happen, but I was hopeful. I was hopeful that it wouldn't. Okay. So yeah, this is a game. This is a game about portals and getting in them and not dying.
Not dying is key.
Not dying is key to this game because, see, I'll show you, if you walk into a portal partway, that is a surefire way to get yourself dead. And so you shouldn't do that, ever.
Don't do it.
Reason. I need to find a better level to do this in. So, boom, and then I die. And he kind of ragdolls and gets really sad. So, this whole is a Metroidvania puzzle platformer. It's other things that I wrote down in the fact below that you should read. I never remember them all. That's why I wrote them down. I have coder brain, or whatever the hell the thing was that somebody mentioned. That's what I have. It's a problem, but I'm getting help for it. So don't worry about me.
Don't lie.
I'm not. I don't go to the meetings or anything. We're fine. You don't gotta worry about it. So now we set our inactive delay. We set our exit delay rather to 5, and I can prove it because exit delay says 5 right here. So want some FAQ? Dude, I have FAQ. Okay. That's what.
Oh wow, Zombat says he's on the Xbox One. No info on the stream is shown.
Weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Well, at least Xbox One has a Twitch app. That's good. Because that was the most annoying thing about the PS4 was that there wasn't even a YouTube app. I'm like, really, guys? Didn't we fix this like 6 years ago with the PS3? Can't you just write a YouTube app real quick? Is it that hard? Yes, thank you, Neon0601. That's the description of our first game. The description of this game is... Here's our FAQ. That's our FAQ. Oh, I posted it as if dog then. Don't worry about it. That's me. I thought I was logged in as Psydra. I'm apparently not. That's our game. Yeah, this is not a point and click, believe it or not. As much as it may look like one, it's not. We're just fooling everybody. Okay, so our exit delay didn't work, and I knew it wasn't going to work. And like I said, I was pretty sure, but I was hopeful that maybe some miracle would happen and it would just work. Never do that. Never just have faith that something's going to work when you did not completely make every effort to make sure it works. The reason that it didn't work is the first thing that happens here is that we check if our current level, or the current room rather, is this game object that the room settings is on. The problem is that that changes first before exit is called on this room. So the first thing that happens is you teleport from one place to the next, and then it sets that as your current room. So the problem with that is that it immediately starts counting down from that point then. So we either can't rely on our exit function to do this, or we have to somehow use something else to delay this working. So what we're going to do is we're going to create another Boolean variable, which is going to be called exited. And we're going to start that off as true, and I'll show you why. Well, they accidentally closed the Twitch page. I actually do that. I do shit like that all the time, because I'll have like a bunch of tabs open and then I forget and I just close like my entire Chrome window. Every tab goes away and then I'm like, fuck, I meant to totally save that one thing. It's easy enough to get back, but it still doesn't make you feel any less stupid for doing it. So I know those feels, bro. Okay. So, okay, if optimize, so here's the thing with this. If optimize and, what is it, init level dot current room does not equal game object. So once again, we just need to make sure that the room we're in right here is not the current room. And yeah, Zombat. So what part of game development do you do? It's not the codes. And so if so what we're gonna do is check. However, if init level dot current room is this game object that we're in right now, what we're going to do is set exited, no, not exit delay, we're going to set exited to false. So exited is going to be our Boolean to determine when a room has been exited. That's why I named it that, because I'm really good at naming. Let's see. Lost there. That's interesting. I guess like I would honestly Nyan I would blame tutorials for that. Honestly, tutorials are good to get like little bits of info out of, but to use it as like the base of your whole game, it's like it's not the ideal way to go. You're gonna need like a legitimate book and to actually go through it like from start to finish to really get the base that you need down.
And I bet you know which book to get.
I think someone's trying to make me pimp out Pact Publishing again. And just for that, I'm gonna do it. So, if anyone is looking for books and doesn't want to, scrape some code off the internet, I highly recommend doing that. Check out one of those books. They have almost never steered me wrong. Well, I would say they never steer me wrong. There's a Lua book that I wasn't crazy about, but that was pretty much it. All the Unity books are pretty great. But yeah, Pact Publishing is great. You should buy all of their books if you want to learn things. So here's a start. So instead, of checking if the current room, instead of checking if the current room is the game object, because that kind of changes at odd times. Like, we can't really rely on that for what we're doing here. We're just going to check if exited. And I keep getting exit delay there because you're a jerk. And we're also going to have to check it here. And enter is going to the enter function. It's going to say, oh, entered is true. Oh, that's a different thing. Don't concern yourselves with that. Sending copy union book numbers. You mean like he can just sit around and code all day? That's pretty sweet.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, right?
Believe it or not, I was actually going to go tonight, and then you were like, hey, let's stream. And it's like, nah.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, I'm not going to be able to do it for, like, the rest of the week.
I know.
So.
Which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I know. If Mike had decent internet, I could, but there's no way.
Well, then I'm going to be here by myself doing some modeling and maybe animation and probably some shitty code. And you're going to be sitting there watching me on Twitch and laughing.
Nice. I'm going to be watching like 1 frame every minute on Twitch.
Is it really? Is his internet that bad?
Well, his upload is definitely atrocious. But the download may be serviceable, but definitely not great. I think it was like his whole network is what was it? It's like, I think the internet here is like 50 megs up and down.
Mm-hmm.
His is half a meg.
Is that even a thing?
Yeah, apparently it is in fucking North Carolina.
God, what is this, fucking 1998?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, Code Academy is good for certain things. Like the Python course on there is pretty good. It'll definitely give you like a good base to work off of. But it's still kind of on the internet. It's not as in-depth as it kind of needs to be. I actually just bought Heather a Python book last night. So that's exciting. Yeah. It's a really good one too. Like it really does things the way I would prefer them to be done. So World 8 team has question. You want to make a team? Wants to make a team, but he sucks at cooperation with developing. What helps collaboration, like sharing files and actually finding a team? Yes. Fucking, they got like dial-up still in certain parts of the country. It's super sad.
Yeah, it's brutal.
So what helps collaboration? I mean, so actually finding a team is a huge thing. Like, I don't know, honestly, where you're going to find, like, artists or anything like that. That's like...
Jerks anyway.
Huh?
I said artists are jerks anyway.
Yeah, no, they don't do shit anyway, so you just don't even bother. Just
don't even bother.
Just scribble, find, like, a touch screen, something with a touch screen. Use your iPad, start scribbling shit. Save it out to your
finger
computer.
Paint adventures.
Yeah, save it out to your computer and you're good. I mean, finding a team... Here's the thing, any game development forum is going to be full of programmers. You're not going to find an artist except for Headcloud. So everybody make Headcloud do all of your art. But most game development forums are full of coders. I don't really see like any artists on any game development forums being like, hey, I can do art, but I can't code, but I want to make a game. Like, that's pretty rare. So going with finding game development forums is not really the way. You're probably honestly best off just like kind of browsing for artists in one way or another, like on things that aren't necessarily game development. Like find an artist that you like and try to like convince them to do some art for your game.
It also depends on what kind of art you're looking for. Because if you're looking for 2D art, I mean, you can't just go out and be like, yeah, I want an animator, and then expect them to be able to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not they're generally specialists in whatever field they are.
Yeah.
Except for me, but that's because Joe makes me do everything.
Yeah. Well, it's because you started off as a modeler and then went to animations, had to do texture stuff. Somebody's got to do it. So
And I regret every second of it.
the way that I started coding is simply because we just didn't have a coder.
Pretty much.
Alright. But yeah, so like I try to find artists in some way that is not like just looking at game development forums. You're probably not going to find artists that way.
Nope.
You're probably best off just like finding like some, you know, so if you have a 2D game, then you can have it a little bit easier, and you can find like, you know, a comic, like if you have an online comic that you like, some artist, and you can try to convince them to do some art for your game and stuff like that. But in general, that's going to be hard. As far as like actually file sharing, you know, you can do, I think, World 18 suggested subversions and stuff. Like we actually have a Visual Studio online account, which is free. And
I've got it open if you want me to show it on my screen.
yeah, well, I have it right here.
Oh.
This is what I work in like constantly. So we actually have this account for source control, and it does everything that we need. This is the first time everyone's been able to work in the same project. You just check out your files in here, you submit them, you can have comments in there, and we even have like a whole project planning task stuff to do. So yeah, it's like, I would honestly recommend this, especially for coders. Like if you are using Unity and you're using Visual Studio, then you just make the online account, make the Visual Studio online account. And let me see, so if I go to our Team Explorer and home,
There we go. It's looking a little more fleshed out.
let's see. Let's see, there we go. Yeah, I mean, it's super easy to, in Visual Studio, just, you know, you connect to this Team Foundation server, and so you select your projects. So we have this Visual Studio Online account, and I can post projects here, and then just add people to the source control. They sync up to the game. You check out your files, and you're good to go. Like really, it's super easy to get going. So if you're already in Visual Studio, this is kind of a no-brainer. There's also Git. They do have, like, you can use a Git repository in here. So yeah, it's all integrated with Visual Studio, so it's super handy.
Yeah, useful.
Yeah, useful things.
What?
Exit is false here. Reset, we don't need to worry about it. Exit is true here. Okay, so we're gonna once again try this. We're gonna try this little thingy out. Holy shit! It's Trent Sterling.
No. What?
I would never lie about that.
Trent Sterling blowing up our chats.
Yeah, for real. All right, moment of truth.
Do it.
We're gonna
I
see.
faith in you.
We're gonna see if this room disappears immediately, or if it gives us the 5 seconds that it owes us. It disappeared immediately, motherfucker. Calling
Call it
exits. Okay.
'Cause that's what you do.
What? Who was stupid about lerping?
I'm curious now.
Yeah, I'm really curious about what's going on with that. Current
24
document,
frames per
motherfucker.
second. Maybe if it's film, but not for a game.
Let's see, countdown. Okay, so countdown is turning off room. Exited, we're gonna call exit. And debug.log exit called. Okay. So we're gonna really confirm what's going on here. Whoops, sorry about that. How can you use lerp wrong? Like, what do you like pass it the wrong number of parameters or something? How do you
fuck that up?
Yeah, how do you just use the function wrong? Alright, so we're gonna confirm that I'm not completely dumb. But more specifically, so we've activated those things. Now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna jump on into here, and so it called exit a whole bunch of times actually. Exit called, calling exit, calling exit, calling exit, calling exit, calling exit, calling exit. Okay. And our exit delay was 5. Too often.
I think you broke World 18.
Yeah, World 18 just kind of his brain just broke. Actually, the 24 times per second makes me think that that person was like a film person or something.
That's 100% a film aspect, or a film frame rate.
What's up, Rad Cow? We're making a game. It's about doing stuff. More specifically right now, it's about me fucking up this feature.
As you do.
So this is a game about portals. This white space right here next to me is a portal, and you can't really see it though, sadly. Maybe if I toss my inspector over here, that's a little better. So this white space right here is a portal. If I go fully into this portal, it teleports me into the next room. If I am not so great and I only go partway into this portal, it will teleport the pieces of me that are inside of the portal and I die. And yeah, and then the rest of me ragdolls, and I can do all the fun stuff with this and just cut them into little pieces. There's not a cow in it. There's no cow in Teleportal that I know of.
I mean, say the word.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will request a cow. Okay, so this whole calling exit thing is getting a little out of hand. We're going to see what's going on with that. Well, exit called is actually... I don't know why so many things are calling exit. Exit called is the first thing that happens here. But it's not telling me that it shut off the room. So what I think is actually happening... yeah, you know what? I don't know why I didn't think of this before. But I'm pretty sure that the player control is kind of going rogue on us. And Rad Cow, you were like one more message away from being our second ban of the night. I almost feel like you are the same person from before. So he says the Unity docs are wrong. That's awesome. I'm so sorry that you spent time ever communicating with that person to any degree. Let's see. It's cool, Rad Cow. I am not against joking. We just had a troll that was just constantly being super annoying and then filling up chat with multiple messages in a short period of time. It just makes it more difficult for me, so we try not to do that here, that's all. We're cool, bro. Right? We cool. So let's check our teleport function. So I think our teleport function was the problem. Yeah, that's spending too much time on the internet can definitely be a very bad thing. So we're calling exit here. Exited, save state. Alright, let me find out where the hell the whole calling exit thing is, because I don't like it. Here we go. Exit in moving plat? What? Okay. Thanks a lot, moving plat. That's really helpful. Okay, good. That was the only place that happened. Don't need a debug log every time you leave a moving platform behind. It's Ferguson, Missouri. Who's talking about? We're getting like way off topic here, guys. Has anyone here talked about Ferguson, Missouri? I don't think so. I mean, on this stream, has anyone talked about Ferguson? Yeah, Ferguson that's some crazy shit going on. Ferguson is super cray right now.
It's cray cray.
We're just gonna deal with this. Exit called. Okay, so now that we're not doing 100 fucking debug messages for goddamn everything, let's try this again. Don't unplay right away. Okay, great. Okay, great. Let's clear this. Make sure we're all good. And we're going to run into this room. Immediately turned off. So we're going to have to... So exit was called, but I did not get the message that... did not get this message right here, which means the object itself, which means this room setting script was not the thing that was turning off our room, which is kind of a problem. So we're going to check our entire solution for set active. That's fine. That is the one place we want it. Here we go. It wasn't here. Son of a bitch. Okay. Set active. Okay. So here's our problem. We do want this. But that's all we want. Okay. So now that player control is not going crazy on us and just turning off whatever the fuck it feels like, Yeah. Here, everyone has guns. Everybody got guns.
Everybody.
Alright. Here's our new moment of truth. And here we go. So we got into our new room. It's waiting. And then it goes away. Okay. Man. Got some people in this country that would hate that.
What?
Not being able to own a gun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't trust people with guns.
It's true.
They're crazy.
It was the same in Japan, too.
Can't own guns in Japan?
No, I mean, not... Yeah, you need to have, like, a hardcore permit.
Hmm. Okay, so... Looks like our exit delay thingy is working now. Dropping the mic. Let's get out of player control. We're gonna remove this start deactivate entirely. And actually, one thing that I want to see is making sure that our start delay, the inactive delay, actually works as we expect it to. So level 2 is this one right here. We're gonna set its inactive delay is actually set to 4, so we're just gonna make sure that works.
It's true. Trent Sterling lives out in the middle of nowhere. I would wager that his internet is probably worse than Mike's.
He can stream, so that seems pretty unlikely. Mike's internet when he was up in the fucking mountains was better than it is now. Like he was in a fucking circus tent on a mountain, and he had better internet than he has right now.
That's pretty awful.
Yeah. Even my mom rolls with the concealed. Wow. That's pretty hardcore.
Wow, that's because, you know.
Because America.
Because America, exactly.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So it is half a meg up. I'm amazed that you can stream at all. Maybe I could join Skype call still, and then somebody else can actually host the stream, and I could join in. Maybe it could work that way.
I've got a setting for streaming on set for Psydra, so I mean.
What's up, morbid camel?
Morbid Camel.
Morbid Camel 101. It's got a turbo account. That's what it's called. Turbo.
Turbo.
Twitch Turbo. That's like the pro account. Morbid Camel, we are building a game. Check the old FAQ, because I'm never gonna remember all of the things that are. It's a side-scrolling puzzle platformer Metroidvania portal-based death machine. That's what it is.
I mean, I followed that.
That's all I know about it. He's bragging about his ping.
Who's bragging about ping?
Woo! World 8.
God damn.
59 megabits per second download with 9 milliseconds ping.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, this is our Metroidvania. I think was the one I forgot that time. It's It's a Metroidvania puzzle platformer, side-scrolling, shoot 'em up, first-person shooter.
I don't know why you would forget that. I don't even know you anymore.
It's really a point-and-click adventure. Oh man, that was a great head death. Fucking head just fell right off. So these are the portals that we have in the game, which people who have been here for longer than like 10 minutes have seen plenty of. But you can never really get enough of some good deaths. Actually, so this is the portal. Everything that is in that white space gets teleported away, and if it's not your entire body, then you get chopped up and pieces of you get teleported. If I make this unstable energy, we were playing around with this the other night, and if I just make some unstable energy to trip over, then that causes some pretty good deaths. That was a good one. It's a nice little spectacle that happened there. So this is unstable energy, and it will just wreck my shit, is what happens here. So I'm just curious for a project I'm working on. I don't know what you mean by repaste. If you said it before, I missed it, so no worries on repasting it. I know you explained group sections versus levels earlier, but say you're doing a much smaller game. Say, would you use separate scenes or similar to what you're using now? I guess PG-18. Curious for the project I'm working on. Now you explained the way you group sections versus levels. Right. So the game that we were making originally with this had about 20 or so levels per scene. And that worked fine. Like, you can have 20 levels running and not have to worry about anything. Like, even if they're pretty crazy levels, most computers can handle that. When we changed it to be this Metroidvania kind of open worldy thing where you could just go into all these different rooms, it got a little crazy. Shit got real, and so I had to do a lot of things. Like, that's why we have this whole turning off rooms thing, where any room that you're not currently in, we just shut it down so that it's not running all the scripts that are in that level. So anytime we have like moving platforms or turrets that are shooting bullets and all this stuff, we don't want to be using up all that CPU for a room that you're not in and may never go into. So we actually shut those rooms down by deactivating the game objects. And the way that our hierarchy is set up, like, these are the 2 levels that are in my test scene, and so they have this room setting script on it. We turn off that top object, and it turns off all of these objects inside. So you keep your root game objects as your rooms or your levels, whatever you want to call them. You put everything into that one game object, so that if you need to turn off an entire room like we do here, like this is one of my rooms, if I just go into the hierarchy right here and I turn off that room, then it's gone, and everything in there goes away as well. And so it's a really quick way to deal with shutting off rooms that you're not in, and really optimizing the game for just kind of focusing on. It's similar to if we had some kind of like open world 3D game where you're only loading this little chunk of the world around you. You don't want to load this entire, enormous world into the computer at once, because it could be like an hour's walk away, so you don't want to deal with that. So you load little bits at a time. So we do those in rooms. So Rezone 101, I guess you didn't really miss much. It's been half talking to chat and half doing little features, but I wouldn't say that you missed a whole bunch. So yeah, Frozen. I like the way that you spell Frozen. So I think that it depends on what kind of game you're making and how how you actually want to set up these levels. I think that this is a fine way to do it if you have, like it depends on the number of game objects you have, basically. So, I just realized the Reddit. Oh, are you reading the Reddit post I did earlier today, Bo? So to try and answer Frozen's question, I think that this is a perfectly fine way to do it. I think once you get into like the thousands of game objects, then you may want to try to break your break up your levels a little bit into different scenes, or kind of do a similar thing to what we're doing here with shutting off rooms that are kind of far away from you that you don't need to be worrying about at the moment. But I mean, you can put a lot of game objects in a scene and not have to worry about it. But once you get into the thousands, that's when shit gets real, and you may have to think about some other options. That's kind of all really the advice I can give, not knowing anything further about your game. But yeah, actually, and the one thing about the Reddit post / blog post and all the stuff that I did, you can, as you may be able to tell, I'm not even taking a piece of my own advice that I give, because I still haven't made it. I really want to make a frame for the Twitch stuff, so that like we have like, here's a box with my screen in it, and here's a box with AJ's screen in it, and here's the little chat box. Like, I really want to make a frame for it, but like obviously I'm not the artist here, but we'll figure something out to kind of make it a little more professional than just having like screens overlapping. We'll figure it out. It's about how many scripts are active, how much room per frame. Yeah, Morbid Camel kind of has it right there. It's because each one of your scripts that's on a game object is calling its update function every frame, and that's true of really all the components. A transform has to update its position, rotation, and scaling every frame, and so it's a lot of work. So the more game objects that you have, the more components that are on those game objects, the more CPU you are taking up with your game. So just kind of be aware of that, and break up your scenes as necessary. So what was I doing? Set our exit delay. I think we proved that exit delay works. So I'll wait for Kyle to write me a bug on that. Moving platform using clone deaths. We'll do that. Okay. So let's go into our clone spawner. We have a my clone died function in our clone spawner. What is this? What is this YouTube's going on here? Eve Online. I don't even know what you're talking about anymore, Headclot. You lost me. If people were talking about Eve Online, I did not see it. Okay, so clone died. There's a thingy here. So here's the thing that we're dealing with right now. I'm gonna have to make this little level to go along with this. What we're gonna do, put portal in here and extend this out. Kind of, we'll just be chilling right there. Okay. Start location. All right. No, I know that it's from. It is from Eve. Okay. yeah, Evil Line's a thing. It's a game that people play.
What?
Heard of it?
Oh,
I've heard of it. All right, so here's the tricky part about what we're doing here. We have this spawner object, which if I activate this, it's going to spawn a clone. So what I need to do is activate some kind of trigger, and we'll use this one right here, and it's going to spawn a clone right next to me over here. As long as I add the spawner, oh, that's why I don't have the trigger zone script on it. Trigger zone, we're going to activate Mr. Spawner. So now, if I go ahead and I hop in this trigger zone right here, you can see I have a little friend with me now. And that friend is just going to do everything that I do. We're buddies for life. Except, of course, till I die. So it is still for life. You can see my pieces are spawning actually where he spawned from. So here is the thing that we need to do. We're going to need a moving platform that activates when a certain number of clones die. And so, for instance, I can kill this clone right here by kind of leading him into this death trap of a portal. And now I can still hang out, but my clone friend here, he's just kind of toast. So we're actually going to need to use 2 clones. So I'm going to duplicate this spawner and put another one here. And we're going to call it spawner 2 because, as you know from following this channel, I'm great at naming things. So now when I go into my little trigger zone here, spawn 2 clones. So I got 2 friends for life. So I'm going to kill one, he's going to die, I'm going to run over and get the other guy, and then he's going to die, and just everybody dies. Everybody dies in this game. No, Morbid, you cannot revive him. Part of the puzzle in this game is actually killing your clones. There are some times when you actually need to keep the clones alive, and there are other times when you need to kill the clones in order to progress in the level. Now I'm just going to die. And this is just the saddest time anyone's ever had because all 3 of us just died. So what we're going to do, I'm going to remove these objects that I'm not really using right now. Oh, Light Up Man. Light Up Man's here. It's another binary follower also. The top right screen is AJ's screen, which I will show you in better detail by doing this fancy thing that I do right here. And this is... fuck. Alright, we're going to add a screen region. So, AJ, your screen is up now, so you can talk about what you're doing.
I'm just kind of working on some of the concept art pieces that were, like, there was this piece of concept-y art here that I'm kind of fleshing out a little bit, making it more in 3D, and then lighting it, seeing how it would look in possibly in Unity, like my little fake Unity that I got going here, which is not Unity at all, but I basically just put it into like an orthographic front view and then check it that way, see how it would look with flashy lights, and see how it would look with shadows and deformation. But right now I'm just trying to keep things super low poly.
You're a deformation.
Face is a deformation.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. What the hell?
Thanks, Light Up Man. Yeah, I'm just kind of working off some dope concept art. So when the concept art is good, the models are good. So Luckily, we have a really good concept artist.
Game dev section of Twitch is dying. You should stream more. I don't know. How is it dying? There are just not many people on. Oh, Ludum Dare. Well, it's not even Ludum Dare. Like, Ludum Dare is not until 2 weeks. Like, it's not this coming weekend, it's next weekend. So that shouldn't even be happening yet. But... Oh, right, yeah, it's going to spring up. Well, yeah, there was that PewDiePie jam. I think you think it's dying right now because it's midnight Pacific time.
Oh shit, is it?
So it's 12:12. So yeah, so it's a little over a week. It's next Friday, I think it starts. I would like to do it. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be like I'm not gonna be able to work like all fucking week this week for the rest of the week, and then so not taking all of next weekend to do a jam instead of working on Teleportal is not ideal, but
I think I got 4 days off this week. Which we'll see if that actually goes through, but
World A Team, you're that makes me sad that you don't know what Ludum Dare is, but you knew the PewDiePie jam was going on and you're familiar with the entries. Ludum Dare is like is kind of the biggest game jam that I know of. I'm pretty sure it's pretty much the biggest one that exists in the world as like a global game jam that people just take a weekend. There is a voting process for the theme of it, and then the theme gets announced like right as people begin. So there's 15 or so options, and then that's the thing about well, in that case you will certainly know what Ludum Dare is after next weekend, because I'm sure that Twitch is going to be full of it next weekend.
Guaranteed.
So
I think Beanray said that he wasn't going to be doing it though.
Yeah, he does he quasi does game jams all the time. I guess I don't know if they're technically jams, but he just kind of does like his little projects. And
well, that's what he was saying, was that he was just all jammed out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did one Ludum Dare, and then the last time it happened, I was so disappointed with the theme that was chosen that I just didn't bother with it.
What was it?
It was one of those ones that was like Two Worlds or something like that, where it's like, where like it's the obvious thing of, you have a light and a dark scene and you play them at the same time and they do different things. Like that's kind of that's what they just end up being, where it's just like, oh hey, you either switch between two different scenes which do opposite things, or you play them both at the same time. Like it's, I don't know, it was just like, it was as a theme. Yeah, thank you Light Up Man. It was Connected Worlds. So Two Worlds 2. Two Worlds 2 was so disappointing, because Two Worlds was like this game where just like everyone was just like, it's kind of garbage, but whatever. But then Two Worlds 2 came out, they're like, well, it's a lot better, but it was still terrible. It was not the best. I mean, it had good things about it, I just could not get over the controls. So people approach it. Well, yeah, right. It is like the theme, but like I felt that there were just much more interesting themes than Connected Worlds. Like Connected Worlds, immediately the vast majority of people are going to make a game like what I described, and most of them did. So it's
there's a couple of really good ones on Steam, like what was that? The Giannis sisters.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
one was really good.
I actually never played it, but
It was really good. I made a review video of it that I
just
never
found out
released.
some disturbing stuff about Star Citizen. What did you find out?
Oh, Miniman's on.
Yeah, he's been on. Where you been?
I've been modeling with my head in the clouds.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna duplicate this platform right here. And it's gonna be my moving platform that I use. So we're gonna shrink it down. Shrink it down like that. And this is gonna be my moving platform for when I kill the clones. So I'm gonna take the trigger button script off. In fact, I need to take the trigger button script off of this one. And we're going to add the moving platform to this, because what we need to do is we're going to need to kill a certain, we're going to need to kill particular clones in order to make this moving platform go. Should I take a look? Gametary? No, that's an interesting name too. Leftovers. I don't know what this is. Like, you spent $100 on Star Citizen. Oh boy. Oh, this is Gametary's submission for Connected Worlds. Interesting. I will have to check that out. I'm going to put this under games. Yeah, I actually saved the list of the other themes that I actually liked in Ludum Dare 30. So, and I've been meaning to do those. So I think that if I once again don't like the theme that's in next weekend's Ludum Dare, I'm probably just gonna pick one of the other ones that I like and do that one. Let's see.
Oh, my lights fucked up.
So what, the Cloud Imperium Games, is that who's making Star Citizen? Is that what's going on? I'm a little confused.
Okay.
So what's going on there? Alright.
Murr's going to bed.
Night, Murr. I'm actually gonna shrink this. We're gonna make this a wall. Kind of try to do some practical application of things that Alex does.
What? Don't do it.
No, for real. That's what we're doing. And so I'm going to take the trigger. I'm going to move the trigger over here. So what I'm going to need to do, and we're going to also bring our portal back. So what we're going to need to do here, as you will see, is... Ah, shit, I'm going to need to make another wall. I'm going to duplicate this guy. Where's our start location? Okay, so we're going to spawn right in the middle here. And we're going to be trapped. We're going to be trapped, but we immediately run this. Okay. Unit, oh man. Chat is going crazy now. I can't even... Just the Reddit game dev. Yeah, Reddit. I mean, that's true of everything in game development and everything on the internet. Do all good game companies have poor environments? I wouldn't say all of them. I would say, I mean, there are probably a lot, but I think most companies kind of have their ups and downs. Yeah.
So apparently Zero Cool says that we're really bad and we're amateur at best. 'Cause,
Zero
yeah.
Cool, I think that maybe you have some
I don't think we really need to justify ourselves to him, dude.
no, I mean, I think you have to oh, thanks, Headclot. Yeah, it's that's kind of the no, so
You still have me big screen, by the way.
Oh yeah, I do.
And I'm still like figuring out some of this lighting stuff, so it can't be that interesting.
I'm guessing that we know Zero Cool. That's why I'm not just immediately banning him. Whoops. I don't even know what happened there. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go back to this scene. Thing is, I know it's not Alex trolling because it's just too late, unless he is just so sleep deprived that he made a fucking sock Twitch account. Which I almost would not put that past him. Okay. So, alright, so here's the deal. We're gonna make this, so this has a moving platform script on it. We are going to go right to assets and did Trent leave? Because that would be really funny if that really was him.
That would be great.
So we're gonna replace this. We're gonna do our position. We're gonna animate the position of this guy, and he's going to move on the Y. We're just going to drag him up.
Alright, we'll get some tubes.
Okay. Man. We just don't want to go up. There we go. So there we go. We're going to move it up. Over the course of 1 second. It's going to start down here. So... Wow. Wow. Okay. So here's the deal. What we usually do for...
Trent's back.
For these things... I'm not going to play it automatically. Swear to God. Hey, if it makes you feel any better, Trent, I did not bring it up.
No.
We had a little troll that we assumed was the same troll as your LERP guy. So
yeah, we're pretty sure that troll is the same guy.
Slurp. That Slurp is a thing. That is a thing. Okay.
Is that guy still in chat, or did you get rid of him?
I don't know. I didn't get rid of him. He may have just gotten bored and went on his merry way.
Probably.
All right.
Because maybe we were just boring because we're amateur at best.
Moving flat. That's probably what happened. Okay, so what we can do now is actually with this same trigger that we have, we're activating 2 spawners, and wait, Light Up Man, are you saying that guy, you've seen that guy before? That same Zero Cool guy? Okay, so we're gonna drag our moving platform into the activated objects, just to show you that I can actually just have this automatically. See, we've activated our moving platform, so we automatically get that platform moving up to unblock our way. So we confirm that the activation message works for this moving platform. What we actually want to do, though, is we don't want it to activate from the trigger, so we're going to remove that. What we want to do is actually make it so that a certain number of clone deaths will activate that moving platform. And so what we can do is, so thick platforms, moving platforms have, let's see, what was it that had, I'm totally lost. Okay. What had the requirements? Oh yeah, here we go. Completion objects. So let's go take a look at these completion objects in our moving plat scripts. So our override, our activate message can check if, where are we going here? Override activate. Check requirements. So the check requirements script, what that does is that goes down here, and it's going to check all of the completion objects, see if they have been fulfilled. Let's see. To answer vzoom, I was a programmer before this project, but I actually did learn Unity for this project. I had only kind of messed around a little bit in Unity. I didn't do any like serious thing. But I'm an audio engineer by trade, and so I do both sound design and programming. And I've done programming for other games in the past. But this is the first Unity game that I've made, and it's quite the big one. Let's see.
And I don't program.
This guy.
I don't do that shit.
You got your little Unity platformer that's coming along.
It's pretty awesome. I like it, but it's not. I mean, it's nowhere near like. I wouldn't give it to a programmer and be like, "I made this."
Okay, so here's the thing about completion objects, is that you can set a certain number of completion objects, and right now these are just trigger buttons and trigger zones that we're checking. So what we can just do is check the clone spawner to see, and we can add clone spawners to our list of things to activate. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that first. So let's say if I go over to Unity, and you guys can't see my inspector window, but right here I have my completion objects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag spawner number 2 into my completion objects and spawner number 1. And so now both of these objects have to be quote-unquote completed in order for me to actually move this object up. vzoom, if you have zero programming knowledge, you're definitely going to like need to go through a book and like really like work out some stuff. It's going to take you longer, but that's not to say that it's going to be impossible or that you shouldn't do it. Unity in general is much easier to learn than other ways to make games.
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, except for like, except for something like fucking Game Maker or something like that that's like super basic and very limited. As far as like for lack of a better term, commercial quality game engine, it's very easy to learn for that. So you can definitely start working on the game pretty quickly. Let's see. Everybody's still talking about the fucking W axis. Okay. So I've added my spawners to my completion objects for here, and so what I need to do in my script is to consider those objects completed. What I actually need to do is kind of just copy one of these if statements, and we're going to add one for our clone spawner. So we're just going to kind of use this as our template. But we're going to use clone spawner, and we're going to take our clone spawner, and we're going to check if the clone died.
I think all I'm seeing is your...
Oh no, did I fuck up something again?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch! I hit a
That's
2 somewhere. Hit a 2 somewhere. Alright. We're
Good
fine.
thing I'm watching the stream, bro.
I know. I usually try to keep XSplit up in a tab somewhere, but alright, we're good now. Nothing to worry about. Okay. So we can check if our clone died, and if it did not, if this clone did not die, then we know that we have not completed all of our objects here. And so yeah, I think everyone's just got very confused about what happened to the stream. So if we debug print this now, we can get a message. We'll probably get a message that, let's see. Or no, we'd have to debug print the trigger. Moving plat, check requirements. Okay.
Okay.
So we'd have to, okay, so let's put our moving platform back into the activation objects here, because now what's going to happen is I'm going to try to activate this moving platform, but it knows that I have not completed these other things, so it's going to bring up this little error right here. It says I tried to activate this moving platform right here, but spawner 2 has not been activated and spawner 1 has not been activated. So even though I tried to send the activate message here, my completion objects have not been activated, and so it's not going to actually move this platform. So if I then say so let's add another trigger, in fact. And I'm gonna have to cheat a little bit.
Cheater!
But it's gonna be totally worth it. So what we're gonna do,
I don't even know you.
is when does X chat? Okay. We are going to take this trigger and we are going to take out all these other things and just going to move this platform. So you can see the first thing that we do, we probably going to get this message saying we didn't activate either of the spawners yet, which means that the clones have not died yet. So what we need to do is go ahead and start killing these clones. Can't really see them yet. If I run over here, there's clone number 1. He's peeking through. So I'm going to go ahead and kill him. Kills him. I'm going to move number 2 guy over here and kill him. So we have now killed both of the clones. So they're just sitting there dead. So both of those spawners have been technically quote-unquote activated. That's what they are considered now. So now if I go over to this other trigger zone, you can see that this wall has now moved up, because I activated both of the spawners, and then I went through this this trigger zone and it activated this platform. And since both of its required objects have been met, it actually made the move. Thanks, Lido, man. Yeah, I think I basically had to create a bunch of systems like this so that you could kind of just hook up different objects to interact differently, so that Alex could just go in and just start building levels and go crazy with, kind of playing with all these mechanics in silly ways. Yeah, probably half the people in here are from Binry's channel. That would not surprise me.
What?
From Ben's stream.
Oh, that's right. He was streaming late.
Yeah, he streamed for a while today. All right, so here's the thing about this little trigger thing that we have going on now. We actually need clone deaths to also send that activation message to a platform. And so you streamed for 15 hours?
Who did? Ben?
I guess. That's what somebody said. That's what that's what Miniman said.
Jesus.
Yeah, he was fucking on fire today.
Yeah, no kidding.
He was hopefully taking my Python advice.
Yeah, right.
I taught that guy Python. 9 to 1. He streamed on 1 a.m.? Holy shit. That guy's nuts.
He's nuts.
Okay. So we need to actually have the what Python advice? Oh, I sent him a link to this Python built-in functions thing. He was checking, he was like iterating through a list, like every time he had to get all of the names of the players and stuff like that, and but he was doing it like manually, like he had to take the length of the list and then do the for loop on counting through, like do a for I in range and then take the length of it, and it was like super, like it is the super kind of like manual way to do it and the not Python way to do it. So I'll put a link into here for that. This is a whole bunch of like really handy functions that most people don't really use because they're very specific to Python. And in particular, I wish that C# had some of these functions because they're incredibly handy. Should you not do what? You have a bot that plays Binry's bot?
Binry was making a Twitch bot.
No, I know, but Letterman was just saying that he has a bot that plays Ben's bot game.
Nah.
That sounds questionable. I mean, he might be upset about that. Okay. It was KV for pairs. Yeah, that kind of exists in Python as well.
I don't think Ben gets upset over anything.
Nighthead Clot, thanks for hanging out. Alright, so here's the fucked up thing, is that I actually have to have cloners have an option to send an activate message to moving platforms. This is so fucking weird. But we gotta do it. It's kind of janky, but... Okay, so what we're gonna do is in our clone spawner, we're actually going to create an array of game objects that the clone spawner can activate when its clone dies. So that'll be fun. Yo, what's up, Marticus? Marticus11. What are you making? What is your friend making? AJ here is making some backgrounds. As you can see, they're looking pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, check that out, dude.
Gonna highlight that for a bit.
So I got this.
Yeah, that lighting especially is looking fucking great.
Yeah, I got a bunch of this all. I mean, this is the control room, and it's getting pretty close. I've done a little bit of like creative tweaking to it, just like adding in these little tubes here for these wires to come out of. Just because when Mary was doing the concept art, she had it in perspective. So since we have this kind of forced perspective and this lift here, I have to have the wires coming out of somewhere. So I have them coming out. I have them coming out of one server and then going into the other server tower, and then I just kind of created a spot for them to go in and out of, and then like a little junction box, little transistor here, and just kind of tweaked a little bit of this, gave it some love. And then I added some of these in here. So it's deviating from the concept a little bit, but I think it's all good. Mary saw it; she thought it was good. So
nice, yeah, that's looking really fucking cool. In fact, see that little monitor thing that you have there?
This big one up here?
Yeah, that is kind of like that whole style of like those screens is what I had in mind for a frame for Twitch. Like if we had the big one that looked like that, and then you like the little one on the side for like the other person for the Skype and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I think that could look really cool.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do like one for the side panel, we've got this guy here that you could probably pull from with these wires and shit coming out of.
Oh yeah.
So that one we could probably use something for, kind of like a little matrix monitor setup. But yep.
Light up, man. Just learn C# already. The fuck is wrong with you?
Did he?
He said something about writing something in JavaScript.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and also, that Morbid Camel. Check out that link Morbid Camel posted, because that's pretty neat. It definitely has some those are almost some kind of like Python things where you can check the kind of do like a for each loop and stuff and check the indexes of things. So that is handy. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right here, we're gonna add another fun thing to clone spawners. They're gonna have another array. So let's see, public trigger button. So there's only one button, but we actually need an array of game objects for to send and activate objects. Newton Soft JSON library. You guys are talking crazy now.
What are you talking about?
Newton Soft JSON library. It's crazy talk.
Oh, Trent was also asking how well it goes from Maya to Unity. As
long as you export FBX.
Yeah, I usually just export it as an FBX with motion builder settings, and I usually uncheck the camera, and it'll go in pretty good. As long as you've got a really good hierarchy, it should be okay. Since I'm modeling right now, this is a really, really dirty hierarchy.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, I'm modeling, so it's
yeah, totally.
Tons of shit. But when I go through and finish it, like, I'm basically going to be separating all of these things. Like, if you look at this one here, this object anyway, is actually, this whole object is called a control server. So it has everything, including the lights, built into it, which I'll probably have to redo the lights in the prefab in Unity. But the for here, this is basically what it is, so that I can then move it around as a singular asset. And then I'll do the same thing with all of the other assets. Just kind of combine them all into easier to manage stuff. But once it goes from here to Unity, it's usually pretty plug and play. Like it'll just drop right in generally.
Oh, he's asking how the animated lights go into Unity.
Well, see, the lights is a different story. I haven't tested that yet, so I'm anticipating that I'll have to recreate those in Unity. So realistically, I just got a script running.
Yeah, to some degree. Actually, this is another handy little script that that I can show people on here. So what we have for our portals, for instance, is I will throw that material. Let me see. Should be a portal material, portal energy. So as you can see, this right here, this is what our portal energy looks like. It's a whole bunch of little purple squares. And if we zoom out here, even though this is a pretty small object, it's tons and tons of things. And I don't know how well you can see it, but what this actually is this is a tile sheet. And so it's like, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 5.
So 30.
Yeah, so it's a 30 frame, but the most important is that it's 6 across and 5 down. So what I actually did was I wrote a script that I called Tile Sheeter, because it kind of sounds a little fucked up.
Would it help you then, just while we're on that note, should I do the same thing with these guys here?
If you want to make that into a tile sheet, then
yeah,
sure.
I think I probably should.
Yeah.
Because that'll probably be the best way to get it to work.
Yeah. So what I have here is just, what you can do is just put in the number of columns that you have, so the number of horizontal tiles, and then the number of vertical tiles for the rows, and the wait time is the amount of time that it will hold onto a single frame. And so all you have to do then from here is just hit play, and now this will actually run through each of those frames, and I can control how fast it does it. So if we want to change this to 0.1, you can see that we're moving much faster now. And it's a really easy way, so we can plug in any tile sheet to this, and as long as it's a complete tile sheet, as in like it always does 6 across and 5 down, and the entire thing is filled out, this is a really quick way to just slap it in there and not have to worry about like creating custom scripts for every time we have some kind of animated texture like this. It's pretty handy. In fact, now that I did this, I'm just gonna leave it there so that there's something that actually looks like a portal. That actually looks like a teleportal. Okay, so I have set my spawner. I've set this spawner to, where am I going? Spawner 2. Spawner is going to activate my moving platform, and spawner 2 is also going to activate my moving platform. And so now that both of these are set to send this activate message to the moving platform,
I'll be right back, Joe.
Yeah, alright. So each time a clone dies from one of these spawners, it's going to send the activate message to this platform. And the platform itself has a number of completion objects, and that right now it's set to be both of those spawner objects. So if both of the clones die from each of those spawner objects, then then that's when our platform will move up. If I have done everything correctly, then that's exactly what will happen here. So right now, going into this invisible trigger zone that I've set right here, these you can see my little clone guys over here. So if I make them run into this portal, like so, make them run part way into this portal, he's gonna die. And make the next guy run into this portal and die. And weirdly enough, we did not seem to get our activate message. Uncaught exception. Object not set. Activate objects. Async HTTP. Wow, that's fucking weird. Spawner not activated. Uncaught exception. I've never seen that error before. So what we need to do, the last thing that we need to do for this is anytime that we get this clone died message, we're going to take all these activate objects and send our activate message to them. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So this is our function for when our clone dies. And we're going to say for each game object, activate let's just say temp object, because in activate objects we are going to do temp obj.send message override activate, which is the message that we send to things when we activate them from a secondary, from an external game object. Okay. So, if we're doing all of this correctly now, let's go ahead and play this. We should have our little clone bros over here. They're just chilling. We're going to run into... I'm going to have them kind of kill themselves right here. Okay. And fail override activate on moving plat. That's pretty strange. I don't know why you would just completely fail at that. Or is it just activate that we do? Oh, I see. Because it needs a number. Alright. Let's see. So I unfortunately, because of the way this override activate works, it can trigger any number of animations on this moving platform. So I need to actually send it the number of the animation to activate. And so what we do is we're just going to also pass this a parameter of 0. And with any luck, that will no longer give a shit. Well, it's still being a little asshole. I'm going to have to no parameters. Why are you being a shit? Okay, clone joint update. So check the portal, check manual, kill character. My clone died. That's correct. Send message options. So maybe it's just that I actually need to make int temp shit equals 0 and put temp shit into there. No, not temp save. Temp shit. I think that's what needs to happen here.
I don't feel like modeling anymore. I'm gonna animate.
What are you gonna animate?
I think I'm gonna do a stretching animation for him because he wanted, Alex wanted like an alternative idle, just like when you're not touching the controller for a bit.
Okay, so this looks like this is working now. So we apparently killed the clone that was in spawner number 1, and so when we activated it, when we sent that activate message, it says that spawner 2 is not activated. So now when we go to kill clone number 2, we get our moving platform that moves up here, and then we're good to go. Sweet. So that's looking good. That is looking pretty good. So just kill clone number 1. It's going to send the message to that one. Gonna kill clone number 2. That sends the message there. And we kept it in our completion object, so we didn't have to create another array of game objects for the moving platform. The only thing that's kind of shitty about it is that we, Jesus Christ. Okay, there we go. The only thing that's kind of shitty is that we had to, you kind of have to hook it up 2 different ways. You have to make sure that your moving platform has the completion objects set over here, so that spawner 2 and spawner are the completion objects, and then also on your spawners, each one of those has to be set as activating this particular moving platform. So it's a little cumbersome to hook up, but it totally works. Okay.
Come on.
Alright. And it is fucking 12:58, so I'm not gonna be able to go on too much longer here.
Baby.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm probably going to be working super fucking late tomorrow, so...
Yeah.
Because it's the last fucking day of the week already.
Yeah, that's...
Animations...
Wait, what's tomorrow?
Tuesday?
I worked all weekend, show up.
I don't even know what chat is going on about. Some kind of compression shit. Okay, compression in Unity.
What are they talking about?
LZF compression and decompression for Unity. It's crazy. What's up, deep down underscore? Too many fucking things. Too many things going on here. Alright. I'm gonna go back to you then. You with the animating.
Yep, animating. I'm slow and janky when I'm doing modeling, so at least with animation I can autopilot it.
But I like deep down underscore, or deep down underscore if we really want to just not have to. What we doing? We're making a game.
That's what we do.
It is indeed what we do.
Make the games.
We make all the games. And yeah, we just finished up a little feature to start killing clones. So we got these little clone bros over here, and I'm currently trapped in this little room. In order to get out, I actually have to kill both of these clones. So I'm gonna march number 1 over here. He's gonna die. We'll march number 2 over here. He's gonna die. And now I'm able to get out of this room. So basically, one of the mechanics of this is that you actually need to kill these clones that pop up in order to progress in particular rooms. So it's pretty awesome. You take a look at my work and tell me if I have potential, and if so, point me in the right direction. You have a YouTube trailer. Yeah, I guess I could look at a YouTube trailer. I don't know how much I don't know how much I'll be able to get out of it. If you want to know if your art has potential, I don't know. I actually realized that I may need to redo this character. I think his feet don't have the little script on them that I need.
Ah, crap! I just realized he doesn't have eyelids.
Yeah, he doesn't.
So I have to face his face away from the camera.
Is he choking on something?
No, I'm gonna have him do like one of these. He's stretching.
Alright, let's check out this little trailer that's going on here. Raven Watch.
I don't know if I can actually do it. His arms are all like janky. Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. Alright, I'll try a different type of stretching. Zouse.
Is there music on here? That is some crazy ass retro music going on in there.
It's a good stretch. Let's do a sit down, maybe.
What's up, Angel CT _100? I don't super speak a whole lot of Spanish, but it is a setting somewhere that we do specify we're streaming in English, so hopefully we can be forgiven for our lack of Spanish speaking. Yeah, that game looks neat. AJ, I think that you would really like it. I think you should check it out. Let's see. Double link it for it's the thing that Heretic Gamer posted. Copy that. This is definitely a thing for you.
And have him do like a Taru sit.
Ja 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 ja. Does Jaj mean hi?
It means ha 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 ha.
Well, then he said hi. He said hi and then da 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 and then hi. So, I don't know. He's probably drunk.
Could be.
That's my guess. Whoa, Skype. Oh, I fucked up. Fucked up the video because Skype doesn't like it when you are sharing the Skype video and then you switch to a different conversation. It completely kills the video.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun stuff. And then so instead of your video, there's just a big Skype, big Skype icon. Okay. What is this? Instead of modding or resistant game mode. Heretic Gamer, is that a mod? Oh, I didn't know it was a simple conversion mod. I don't know what you used for the base of it. Yes, you can make 2D games. You can definitely make that in Unity. But yes, as Trent Sterling is going to is telling you right now, it's not ideal. Oh, it's mod for Hammerwatch. Interesting. Yeah, the Unity 2D thing is like it's just not ideal, especially if you're trying to do mobile shit. Even if you're not, it's probably not super ideal. The general suggestions that I make for people who want to do 2D games are 2 different Lua engines. So if you are interested in doing 2D stuff, and again, if anyone knows like a better engine or anything like that, but by default, like I will recommend that for 2D stuff on PC Mac Linux, I would go with that. And for if you're trying to do mobile stuff, then the best thing that I found is Gaderos. So definitely check those out if you are looking to do 2D games. Unity is really nice for 3D, and you can do 2D stuff with it, but it's not optimized for 2D, and so and honestly, it's not super great to like edit in, in 2D either. So I would definitely recommend those two. And if anybody else has other suggestions, I would welcome those as well. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do C++, sure, go fucking use SDL and really make your own shit from scratch. And stuff like Game Maker is super in the opposite direction, and I think that Love and Gaderos are kind of a little bit in between, probably closer to the easier way to go, but also more flexible. Okay.
Sorry if I'm all quiet and focused.
Oh no, no worries. What the fuck happened to the clone? What happened, Mr. Clone? Oh, I think he falls forever. I think that's the problem. Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's not good. Why does he fall forever? So unfortunately we have to do clones kind of differently. And because what I've been doing is spawning them so that they just kind of pop into existence when you run into a trigger zone or hit a button or something like that. The way that we have to do it now is that we actually have to have these guys in their little containers, and then they will pop out when they are good and ready. Problem is, oh, you know what I think part of the problem is that this guy, he's actually behind the level. So if I extend this out a bit, cover him, maybe he will not fall. Yep, sweet. Okay. That was an easy enough fix. So now this clone's just chilling out, because this mesh does not have any colliders. So now we got clone number 1, clone number 2, and clone number 3. Oh, but he's behind shit. We're gonna have to fix that, but tried hunting the best open source audio library. Yeah, I don't. Trent, did you try OpenAL? Because I can't imagine. It doesn't it seems pretty good. Fmod is not open source, but it is free for non-commercial use and for indies. It has a similar thing where you can use it as long as you don't make $1 million or whatever, you know. So just don't make $1 million and you'll be fine. Alright. That's what I was gonna do.
What, make $1 million?
Yeah.
Shit. So we'll have to do that next week.
Yeah, we will. I just remembered why I was digging around with prefabs. Is because I was going to bring our little spaceman bro into the scene and add the foot things that we need. We need foot things. Skeleton. We're gonna grab his little feet, his little toes. We're gonna grab this toe. Whoa, why did you go out so far? Gonna grab this little piggy. And we're gonna put a box collider. Don't know why. Oh, no. Oh, that's why. It's pretty weird. Oh, not negative, Jesus Christ. There we go. Oh, not negative. Shrink it down. There we go. Perfect. We're gonna go ahead and grab his other little piggy and add a box collider and paste the same values into that. Use some coffee. I would have some coffee right now if I was going to stay up for a bit. but that's not gonna happen. I do have to work for like 12 hours tomorrow, so we're not gonna go up, staying up all the nights. Okay. So the other thing we need to do with these little guys is add this little foot kick script. Foot kick. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow me to kick the pieces of clones around with any luck. Oh, actually, I don't think I made it these things box colliders or triggers. Probably make them triggers. You should be a trigger. Player foot. And this is on layer player foot. And I think that should do it. I'm gonna apply that, get rid of this guy, and then we're gonna try playing this again. Let's see if I have done my job. Let's double check what's in that foot kick script. Oh, it is collision enter. Okay. So yeah, what we gotta do is go ahead, grab Spaceman Mike. Whoa, did it just create 2 of him? No, it just looked crazy. Okay. So I do in fact need to make these not triggers. They have to actually collide. It's kind of silly. I didn't really need to do it that way. We're going to apply this to our prefab. We're going to get you the fuck out of here. It did create 2 of them, son of a bitch. Let's just grab the prefab here. Hopefully this stuck. Yes, it did. Okay. So now we're going to do it. Gonna kill number 1, clone number 1, marches into the death. Clone number 2 marches into the death. Now I can kick them around. No, not quite. Let's pause and see what's going on here. Spaceman Mike. Let me double check my settings, project settings, and physics. No, not physics 2D. That's a terrible idea. Player foot does collide with clones. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to go ahead and make sure that these are hitting at all. There we go. And die. Oh. Object not set to it is object. Clone 2? What? A clone tube clone is fucking freaking out of me. Console. Check portal do activate. That's very weird. Connector joint, clone joint. Clone joint dot check portal. Okay. Clone joint dot check portal. Let's see what the hell's going on there. It's giving me shit. Oh, I bet you it's the whole shit. I'm checking for the root somewhere in here, aren't I? Yep. Yep. Am I doing it anywhere else? Because if not... yeah, I'm doing it there. Yep, I'm doing it there. Okay. Well, shit. That's not good. We're just going to turn off that little clone for now. He doesn't need to live. Okay. Back to kicking around dead bodies of clones. What we should be doing. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like we're just not colliding with the feet are just not colliding with these pieces at all. Even though it should be, because here's our clone head. You can very clearly see that it should be colliding with this, with my foot. And let's double check his feet. Scale root, that's his left foot. Guess I need to make him bigger. Need to make his feet bigger. Alright, Spaceman Mike. Let's make your feet bigger and see if that helps. They're pretty small feet, so...
He's got tiny feet.
He really does. It's pretty big. It's got big box colliders for feet now, at least.
You just hit something.
Oh, fucker.
Yep.
I did hit 2 again. Son of a bitch. Alright. I'm good. Yeah, I'm gonna just need to fucking change my shortcut keys, because it's just not working. If anything, I should just set it to the numbers up top here, because I apparently never fucking use those. Okay, let's go apply that. Get rid of this little fucker, and then... you die, and then you die. Yes, we're still not colliding. It's very disappointing. Once again, should definitely be hitting this. This guy... oh, he's on player. He's on the player level, not in the clone. That's fucking why. He should be on clone. Yes, change all the children. Jesus. Fuck. No wonder. No fucking wonder. Alright, we should be good now. We're ready to kick some fucking clone pieces around. Oh, and the head broke off too. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be perfect. Yes, here we go. Back in business. So I can now kick pieces of clones around. Yeah, yeah. Alright. Oh, you got fucked up. Yep, this is great. Very glad to have this feature back. I missed it terribly.
What is it?
Kicking dead clones around. It's rather fun.
Bo the programmer is wondering what the fuck is going on.
I mean, killing clones and then kicking their body parts around.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what would be confusing about that. So yeah, we spawn these clones. The goal is to kill them so that I can get out of here. This lets me escape. But then for funsies, I can also just kick their body parts around after they get chopped up by the portals.
As you do.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty standard stuff, really. Pretty standard.
I think he wants to know why there's clones.
That's a great question. I think that's more of a question for Alex than anything.
That is definitely an Alex question.
So, yeah, because I honestly don't know the narrative thing behind the clones. Basically, there will come a point in the game where you will all of a sudden start seeing these little clone guys appearing, and sometimes you need to kind of work with them, and you need to make sure that they are safe and teleported into where they need to go, and sometimes you need to murder them.
As you do.
Yeah, Miniman. I am also tired, and I'm being horribly, horribly irresponsible right now by staying up until 1:30. But I did lots of good shit, so yeah. It all kind of worked out, I guess. Turn back the clone tube back on. Yeah, I don't know. I really do need to not be doing shit right now.
I feel you.
It's 4:30. Yeah, it's 1:30 here, and I have to work at a reasonable hour. So we'll see. Yeah, it's fucking East Coast is rough right now.
Well, I got a good blocking for this sit-down animation, at least.
Yeah.
So, that's it. Look around. Get back up.
Nice. That's really fucking cool.
I mean, it'll be a lot cooler when it actually looks like a character doing that rather than just fucking previs, but whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
that's,
That looks
that's
alright.
super awesome.
I have him sitting down like a Taru.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, that is really cool.
So there you go. Sitting down. You put down the controller, he's gonna get bored.
It's gonna be like, alright, this fucking asshole gonna do stuff now or what?
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is super neat.
Is he watching? Man, these guys are talking about all the drama animes. If you guys are actually interested, Berserk's manga was fucking crazy. I don't know. I never actually saw the anime, but the manga was absolutely nuts.
Nice. All right. Well, I mean, I guess you guys can continue to hang out in this little chat room and talk about anime, but I think that we're all done for the evening.
Why are they gonna talk about anime when we're going? I want to talk about anime.
You can go ahead.
I'm not gonna
Do that.
I'm tired.
Yeah, it's fucking late. All right. Yeah. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. We got some stuff done. So I really just wanted to like get a stream in before we left for the week, and it was just all kind of sad times, you know. But maybe we can figure something out this week if everyone's just chilling and we got some time to kill, and the internet at my brother's place can hold up. We'll see.
Sorry, they're talking about Log Horizon. Good show. Shut up. These guys need to come back so we can talk about this.
Yeah. Well, we got Bo the Programmer and Miniman, and I think there are people who will return at some point.
Yeah, they're all good. All good peeps.
All right. Well, I'm gonna peace out. So you guys
feel
have a
that.
good night. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Come back and talk about anime when people are actually awake and gonna hang out for a bit. But yeah, it's fucking late, so we're gonna go.
Well, man.
So yeah, everybody follow if you have not already, and we will continue with the game dev nonsense soonish, maybe this week if somebody else wants to host it.
I might. We'll
see.
see.
Cool. All right, peace, everybody.
Take care. Good night, y'all.
Oops.
We out.